it's me, Alyssa G. And today I'm going to tell you about the time I went to a mental hospital. Can you imagine me in a mental hospital, bitch? Okay, this happened in 8th grade, 4 years ago. Keep in mind, around this time, I don't know how to say, I was depressed, like very depressed, actually. I did not care about school, care about anything, really. I did not. I was doing all kinds of bad shit. Like, I did not care about nothing. Like, I was over it. But it was never like, ooh, I want to kill myself. None of that. But I was depressed. And I had this friend. Her name is Asia. Me and Asia were friends. We're still friends, actually. She's like in the same boat as me, depressed, like, yeah, so one day she was like, she handed me a letter. She's like, I need you to give this to the counselor because I want to talk to him. Our counselor was like super cool, by the way. Like, he'd always give us like candy. He was just like a good person to talk to. So me and her would always talk to him all the time. So I'm like, oh yeah, sure. So I write her a letter back. Her letter was like some like depressing and I wrote her a letter back, and I was like, girl, same, like, I'm so fucking tired. And I mean, like, obviously I was never gonna kill myself. Like, that's just something people say, you know. But I was depressed, but never like to the point where I wanted to kill myself. So I wrote her that letter back, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go give this letter to the counselor. I got you, girl, I got you. And I gave it to him, and she comes back, and I'm like, so how'd it go, bitch? How'd it go? And she's like, I'm getting evaluated. And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that means. I'm like, what? Bitch, what? And she's like, I'm getting sent to a fucking hospital, bitch. And I'm like, damn. I'm sorry, like, ooh, that's crazy. And she's like, yeah, and so are you. And I'm like, me? Like, what? Me? What? And she's like, yeah, when I was walking out of the counselor's office, your letter dropped out of my pocket, and he looked at it, and he said that he's gonna talk to you too. And I was like, so sure enough, I ended up getting evaluated before her because my parents just came first. So the phone rings, they're like, Alyssa, go to the office. Heard that 1,000 times. So I walk in there to the principal's office, and I see my grandparents sitting in the fucking chairs, and I'm like, hey guys, what's for dinner? And they're like, Alyssa, why didn't you tell me? And the principal was like, Alyssa, like, you could have talked to me, like, I'm always here for you, like, you're such a good student. And I'm like, First of all, don't even act fake just because my parents are here. We both know I'm sitting in this office every day, and you yell at me every day. They're like, yeah, we're gonna have to evaluate you. You're gonna have to go to a hospital. Your parents will take you right after you leave here. This needs to happen like immediately. And I'm like, I didn't even fucking mean it, bitch. Oh my god. Leave the school and we go straight to Cincinnati's Children's. If you live in Kentucky, Northern Kentucky, you probably know what that is. So I go there. They get me a room. And like the thing is, I thought I was just gonna stay there, like for like a night maybe, like ooh. So yeah, my grandparents are like, yeah, you're gonna stay the night. We're gonna go ahead and leave. We'll come back tomorrow, check up on you. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like I get to stay here by my fucking self. Like they're like, oh no, you don't get to stay by yourself. This nurse has to watch you. I need eyelash glue. But anyways, I'm like, you need somebody to watch you, make sure you don't do nothing stupid. I'm like, y'all know I'm not like being serious when I say I'm gonna like do some crazy shit. And they're like, hold on. They're like, yeah, I know, but it's just what the doctor said we had to do. So I'm in this room with this like nurse. I don't know what she was. And she was talking to me. Oh my god, she's so sweet. Like, she was talking to me like, oh my god, I see so much of my daughter in you. Like, I really wish you didn't feel this way. If you ever want to talk to me, here's my number. And the thing is, I wasn't allowed to have nothing like that I could possibly hurt myself with. But she gave me this piece of paper with her number on it. And she's like, stick this in your bra, don't let anybody see it. And I was like, contraband. I couldn't pee by myself. I had to leave the door open. She literally had to watch me sleep. Like, she sat in a chair and I was on the hospital bed and I just like turned my back towards her. It was like, fell asleep. I fell asleep pretty good though, actually, for somebody who was like getting stared at. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty like relaxing being in the hospital. Like, I just sat there, watched TV, ate nasty ass hospital food, bitch. And then it was getting dark out, and my grandparents came and they're like, okay, they're gonna move you. And I'm like, move me where? Like, I'm already here. Aren't I already here? And they're like, oh no, this is just to hold you while we get your actual bed ready. And I'm like, what? Oh yeah, you're actually gonna go down the block to their actual mental facility. And I'm like, mental? Like, sweetie, there's nothing wrong with me. I mean, like, I can be a little crazy, but what girl isn't, you know? So I was like, I was pissed. I was like, oh, that sounds fun, party. The doctors came in, they're like, yeah, we're gonna take you now. And I was like, okay, grandparents, let's get the car ready. They're like, oh no, we got something for you. You're not riding with them. And I'm like, y'all got a car? Drive me? They take me to the hallway and I see a big ass stretcher like the ones in the ambulance, a big ass stretcher, and they're like, we're taking you on an ambulance. And I'm like, isn't that for people like who have like, I'm like, it's not that serious, god damn. So I get on the stretcher, they tie me in there good, like there's no way I'm moving. So, and they roll me up on the ambulance, and my grandparents are following behind, and they take me to the mental facility. And we get in there, and they unstrap my ass, and then they take me to a room where I got a strip search. By the way, at this time, I did not have that piece of paper on me. I gave it to my grandma so she could hold it on to me, because I was not getting caught with that. That's another 5 days. She held like a blanket in front of me, and she was like on the other side, and she's like, just take all your clothes off and put them over here. And I was like, I'm on my period. And she was like, oh, it's okay, I've seen it all before. And I was like, nah. So I was like, okay. So I remember I just like kicked over my like pad, and I was like, and she's like, okay, you can put your clothes back on. And I'm like, I felt like I was just violated, bitch. I was like, I get out. Whew, why is it so hard for me to breathe? I get out, and they put me in the what's it called? I'm not even gonna try it, but anyways, they put me in this room where like everybody hangs out during the day, and like through the glass window I could see like all the other patients having like this like group thing, and I started crying. I was like, why am I here? Like, I'm not crazy. Like, it's like messing with my head at this point. I'm like, what the fuck? I go into my room, there's 2 beds, so I'm like, great, I have a fucking roommate. And I just roll over and I'm crying, and I'm sad. My roommate comes in and she's like, oh hi, my name's, I don't even remember her name to begin with, so I'm not even gonna put it in. But she was like, oh my god, why are you here? And I'm like, I wrote a letter, like a simple ass fucking letter. And I was like, what did you do? And she's like, she just went on and on about this crazy ass story about how she took a bunch of pills at school, and she told her boyfriend like goodbye, like on some like sad shit, and her boyfriend was like, she never says goodbye. And basically like he found out and like saved her life before it was too late, like on some like crazy ass shit. And I was like, all I did was write a letter, and you literally have this crazy ass rescue mission. I went to just go to bed, and my stomach hurts. Before I could go to bed, I hear her like talking to a bear that she had on her bed, and she's like singing like little lullabies and stuff. And I look over and I'm like, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, this bear represents my child that I miscarried. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she was like, yeah, I went to the bathroom one day and it just came out of me, and my mom was coming and I just had to flush it. And I was like, and she was like, that's not even the only miscarriage I had. I had one when I was in the shower. And I was like, how old are you? And she's like, I'm 17. And I'm like, so I just rolled over. I just went to bed. I was like, I cannot. The rest of the days aren't really exciting. I stayed there for 5 days. Like the thing was, like, you would wake up in the morning, you'd eat breakfast, and you'd also, like, write what you wanted for breakfast the next day. It was so funny. I sat with this one guy. It was so bad. I remember one morning they gave him like grape juice instead of apple juice. Oh my god, he slung his tray against the wall and punched a nurse in the face over fucking grape juice. I was like, I'm just sitting here and he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my god. That's also not the first time that he punched a nurse. He did it like every day. And he'd always make us get put on lockdown. And we'd have to go to our rooms and lock the door. And I guess at that time, that's when the nurses would like give him a shot, because you could hear him like screaming. And then all of a sudden he'd be like, oh. And then after that, we had school. Because we obviously couldn't be in school. So, yeah, we did like a little... I don't think I ever actually did anything though. But the point is, it was there for us. I just didn't do it. But, and then after that, we do like a group therapy kind of thing. Oh my god, it's so funny too, because like people would be like tapping on their chairs, and like apparently you can't do that. Like people would like tap on their chairs or like make any type of like consistent noise. They're like, oh my god, stop, I can't take it. And then like they'd run out and go to their room and slam the door. And I'd be like, the group leader would be like, don't do that, you know that triggers them. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. After that, we'd have like lunch. And then, what did we have? Recreations? I don't know. Like I said, English is not my first language. But anyways, I liked recreate. Because I would get orange sherbet ice cream and the regular nacho Doritos, and I would just eat those and sit there, and then we have dinner, then we go to bed. Considered that for a good 4 days. Also, I was in there on my birthday. What's funny is, like the early morning of my birthday, they woke me up like 3 times. They woke me up once to like prick my finger, went back to bed. They woke me up to pee in a cup, went back to bed. They woke me up a 3rd time to swab my mouth. And then I went back to bed. I'm like, are you good? Do you got all you need for me? Like, can you leave me the fuck alone now? Oh my god, and then in the morning they're like, yeah, your pee test came back with blood in it, so like, and I'm like, I'm on my period. Done told y'all this. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm like, what the fuck else? Why the fuck would I? You bitches. And then my grandparents come and they visit me and they bring cupcakes and they're like, happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not in the mood. Like, I have like a big bruise on my vein because they also did blood test on me. On my birthday again. Like, all the tests that they have ran on me were on my birthday. I was so fucking pissed off. And he missed my vein. And you know, if they like miss your vein, it like leaves a big ass bruise. It hurts even more when they miss it. Like, I was not in the mood. Like, I had this big ass bruise on me. I was yelled at the nurse too. I mean, when you're in there, you can act crazy because it's literally fine. And he missed it. And I was like, he's like, I'm just gonna try again. I'm like, no, you're not trying again. I'm gonna go out there, you're gonna get yourself together, and then when you need me, come get me. I did what I said. I did not care. I was like, y'all want a crazy bitch? I'll show you a crazy bitch. So he came, got me, hit my vein because he knew I wasn't playing games. Was it the same day they released me? I had to talk to this girl. And she was like talking to me, like basically like interviewing me to see if I can like get out. Which obviously I did. Like, I'm not fucking like crazy. So I got released. Ooh. The first thing I did was eat because I was tired of that hospital shit. I went back to school. Everybody was like, oh, where you been? And I'm like, the hospital. Oh, and I seen my friend Asia, the one that wrote the letter. And I'm like, ooh, when did you get out? And she was like, the day after. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, yeah, I just went to St. Elizabeth and they released me the next day. And I'm like, I've been gone for a week and you were gone for a day. I was like, I went to a legit mental facility and everything. And she's like, what? That's crazy. I'm like, yes. I had a boyfriend during this whole time, and turns out I found out he was cheating on me with this girl in his grade. I was in middle school. He was a high schooler. And so yeah, he was what was he doing? I don't know. I just found out that he was getting nudes from this girl. So my crazy ass clearly didn't learn anything from this mental facility because I walk onto his bus and he's sitting with a girl. And I throw his hoodie, his drumsticks, his bracelets, everything that like he's ever like given me, chuck that bitch at him. The girl, she said like something like under her breath. And I turned around and I was like, tell that bitch to shut up. And then they just both look at me and they're like, real quick, bitch, shut up real quick. And I walked to my bus like a badass bitch like I am. Play with me. Don't play it. Yeah, that's basically the story of the time I went to a mental facility. It's kind of crazy. It was really crazy. I really hope I didn't leave anything out because it was a lot of stuff. But anyways, if y'all like this video, like, comment, subscribe if you want to. But anyways, I will see you bitches next time. Bye.